Welcome back, class 10, your history class. Today, we are going to revise a very important chapter, National Movement 1919 to 1934. And it includes non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and other forces. So here we come to Mahatma Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was the greatest leader of modern India. He was also a saint and a moral revolutionary. Mahatma, the name given to Gandhi, speaks volumes about the man, and it was a name given by Rabindranath Tagore. The literal translation of Mahatma is great soul. He was born on 2nd of October 1869 at Porbandar in Gujarat. His father was a Diwan at Rajkot state. He was a quiet boy in school. And then he worked hard and he was very honest. After leaving school, he went to England to study law. He returned to India in 1891. It was a rather sad homecoming because his mother passed away soon after. And then he started practicing law at Bombay. Now, Gandhiji's activity in South Africa from 1839 to 1914, the field of Gandhi's activity was in South Africa, where he went as a lawyer of a firm. He was not familiar with the fact that Indians settled in South Africa were subjected to the most humiliating treatment. So he was not aware that all the Indians who were settled in South Africa were undergoing a humiliation. And Gandhi soon found himself the target of the meanest insults. He was thrown out of hotels, trains, insulted, beaten and kicked. The Indians in Africa were helpless and was unable to defend themselves. In 1906, the South African government passed a new Asiatic law directed against the Indian immigrants in Transvaal. This led to launch the first Satyagraha campaign on a large scale in South Africa. 3 times Gandhiji was put behind the prison bars, while others died as martyrs. In 1914, the authorities had to bow down a little. £3 poll tax which the Indians had to pay was abolished. So this was his role in South Africa. Now, when Gandhi returned to India early in 1915, he had the prestige of a leader because he already had the background. While asking for India's support in the First World War, the government had held out the most brilliant promises. Gandhi did a lot of the service of the British Empire in the war years because he pleaded the people of India to join the Britishers to fight the war, because he thought that the Britishers will keep their promises. He played an active role in recruiting young Indians in the army. Meanwhile, he could not remain indifferent to people's suffering in the country. In 1917, he took up the cause of tenant of the indigo planters in Champaran district in Bihar. A campaign was launched against the British indigo planters because he took up the first fight against the torture of the indigo planters in Champaran in Bihar. The campaign, the first victory in India of the weapon of Satyagraha devised by Gandhi. So the first victory of the Indians using the tool or using Satyagraha was the Champaran victory. Later he fought for the rights of peasants in Gujarat. Certain movements are there in this chapter. Movements like Satyagraha, non-cooperation, civil disobedience, renewal of civil disobedience. These things you have to know quite well actually. So first we want to give a glimpse of Satyagraha movement of 1919. In 1919 began Gandhi's active participation in the national movement. He opposed the Rowlatt Act, which endangered the life, liberty, and property of the people. He asked people to do satyagraha against such oppressive laws. It was in 1919. Then comes 1920, non-cooperation movement of 1920. We'll go into the details later on. The Jallianwala Bagh tragedy had enraged the entire nation. So the tragedy of 1920, Jallianwala Bagh, enraged means it. All the people of India was very angry with the incident of Jallianwala Bagh in 1919. So he, means Gandhi, took up the cause of the Muslims also, who had already started the Khilafat movement in 1920. So what happened was, non-cooperation movement, Jallianwala Bagh tragedy enraged the whole nation. Gandhi now stood for non-cooperation with the British rule in India. Then he took up the cause of the Muslims of Khilafat movement. Then the violent incident at Chauri Chaura came as a great shock to Gandhi. And at his suggestion, the Congress suspended the law-breaking part of the non-cooperation movement. And on March 10th, 1922, Gandhiji was arrested and sentenced to 6 years of imprisonment. Then in 1930, civil disobedience movement. So on 12th March 1930 began Mahatma Gandhi's historic march from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi, where he violated the salt laws. Renewal of civil disobedience movement in 1932. The famous Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed in 1931 March. Gandhi agreed to suspend the civil disobedience movement. He also agreed to take part in the deliberations of the second round table conference in 1931. The conference proved disappointing. The Congress started the civil disobedience movement again. So it was a renewal of the civil disobedience movement. Gandhiji protested against the separate electorate of the depressed class. On 20th September, he went to a fast unto death. It resulted in a settlement known as the Pune Act. Gandhiji broke his fast on 26th of September. The movement was suspended. In the later events, these are all in nutshell because I'll be going to details later on. In the later events, what happened in 1940, Gandhi launched individual satyagraha. The movement continued throughout 1941. After the failure of the Cripps mission, the All India Congress Committee passed the Quit India resolution. Gandhi and other prominent leaders were arrested on 9th August 1942. The Quit India movement caused great commotion throughout the country. And Gandhiji was released unconditionally on 6th May 1944. The Shimla Conference 1945 failed to resolve the difference between the Congress and the Muslim Leagues. In 1946, the communal situation took a turn for worse when riots broke out at Noakhali, now in Bangladesh. Gandhi went there to resort the communal harmony. On August 15th, 1947, India became independent. There were terrible riots in Bengal and in Punjab. Gandhiji performed a miracle by bringing back communal harmony in Kolkata by fasting. On 30th January 1948, a fanatic shot our beloved Bapu, the father of the nation. With Ram Nam on his lips, Gandhi collapsed and died shortly after. So this was his whole chart of the political career. But, there's a Gandhian path. Gandhi followed a special path which basically had three main things. One was satyagraha, second was non-violence or ahimsa, and third was swadeshi. And obviously social justice was also there, but the three main things are satyagraha, non-violence and swadeshi. Satyagraha. The word satya means truth and agraha means effort or force to know. Satyagraha stands a force born of truth. Gandhi defined love force or soul force. Gandhi's basic idea on Satyagraha were evolved from the study of the works of Tolstoy, a great Russian writer, as well as the study of the Hindu scriptures. Satyagraha seek to convert evildoers through their willingness to accept and suffer cheerfully. So there are different techniques of Satyagraha. Fasting can be one form of Satyagraha. Non-cooperation with the evildoer can be another form of Satyagraha. Civil disobedience of state laws is a strong and extreme force of Satyagraha. So 3 types of Satyagraha are there. Gandhi laid down the moral code which states how Satyagrahis should behave. Under no circumstances whatsoever will a Satyagrahi resort to violence, which is very, very important, and which brings us to the second path, which is non-violence. Non-violence or ahimsa and Satyagraha are closely intertwined, closely related to each other. Now, Gandhiji said, non-violence is the first article of my faith. It is also the last article of my creed. So non-violence, it is not enough not to take the life of any living being. The vow of ahimsa or non-violence implies that one must love those whom he believes to be unjust. It's a very powerful thing, you know. Oppose tyranny but never hurt the tyrant. Non-violence should not be mixed up with cowardice. Non-violence should be distinguished from cowardice. Means non-violent people are not cowards. Gandhiji lays stress on non-violence with strong and not for the weak. He said, I would rather have India resort to arms to defend her honor than that she should in a cowardly manner become or remain a helpless victim of her own dishonor. Now, Satyagraha, non-violence, and then comes Swadeshi. According to Mahatma Gandhi, Swadeshi has 3 main dimensions: religious, political, and economic. In the sphere of economics, Swadeshi means that we should use only those things which are produced by our countrymen and within the borders of India. Gandhiji launched Swadeshi movement to get over poverty and unemployment in India. He attached to village industries, especially khadi, which is a hand-woven cloth, which was intense and deep. He suggested that modern competitive industrialism should be replaced by small-scale production. So instead of large-scale, he wanted small-scale production. Hand-spun cloth, he said, could provide employment to millions in India. Then comes social justice, which is also, you can say, concern for the oppressed. Gandhi fought the evils of communalism and untouchability. His campaign for the liberation of women and the oppressed ones showed his deep concern about social justice. So in today's class, we have revised Gandhiji's life, early life, his activity in Africa, because it is necessary to know the background before we proceed deeper into the chapter. Then we also revised Gandhiji's role in the struggle for Swaraj. Then we revised the concept of Satyagraha, non-cooperation, civil disobedience, renewal of civil disobedience. And then we have understood what do you mean by Satyagraha, non-violence, Swadeshi, and social justice. So this is all for today's class. In the next class, we will start off with the causes of the non-cooperation movement. Thank you for today.